We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Reaching out to the four corners of the globe and broadcasting to you absolutely live from the studios of LA Talk Live in beautiful, sunny Los Angeles, California. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special night and a very special edition of Speak On It with yours truly, Richard Karr. You know our motto, say it, own it, believe it. Tonight, we pay tribute to one of the greatest musical legends of his time, Keg Johnson II, passed away on Saturday, and tonight we are absolutely going to celebrate his living legacy here in the studios of LA Talk Live on my show, Speak On It. We're going to have a studio filled with friends, family, supporters, everybody who knew Keg loved this man, and if you're tuned in right now, we've got his image up on the screen. So if you don't know who he is, or if you've never had the opportunity to meet him, well, that's Keg Johnson II. We're going to be celebrating his legacy tonight, his legacy in music, his legacy in life, how he touched our station. Once again, friends and family all will join us here live in the studios of LA Talk Live tonight. We want you to stay tuned. In the background, the sounds of Brothers Johnson. That's right, Keg Johnson, a relative of this great band, and this is what we're going to do all night. Stomp in the name of Keg Johnson, to the top, to the bottom, and all the way through. It's a celebration of his life and legacy, the late, great Keg Johnson. He's here in the studios with us, even in spirit. He's somewhere next door. I know he is, because I feel him so strong, and tonight we're going to celebrate with him. So stay tuned. This is going to be a very special edition of Speak On It with yours truly, Richard Karr. E-Quarter Wolf will be joining me. Mad Money Mel, NDK, Victor the X-Man Taylor, who introduced me to Keg many years ago. It's going to be a great night. So enjoy the music. We'll be popping in here and there. So we won't tie you up with a lot of dialogue. We want you to enjoy the sounds and the legacy of the great music producer himself, Keg Johnson. We've got a great mix for you, and once again, a great lineup of guests and supporters who are going to be stopping through live in the studios of LA Talk Live. It's a celebration, bitches, for the late, great Keg Johnson. So stay tuned. We're going to have some fun. As you can probably tell, I'm already on one in celebration of this great man who blessed us with his presence in our studio. We've got clips. We've got sound bites. We're going to be sharing all that with you tonight. Please tell a friend. Go to www.latalklive.com. Go to americatalklive.com. In fact, go to New York, Washington, New Orleans, Miami, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Houston, the Lou, Boston, Vegas, Tampa, all points globally. Tune in tonight. Tell your friend. They've got to check us out. You can go to iTunes Radio, AHA, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, TiVo in the radio section, Apple TV in the radio section. You could even go to your Roku box and listen to us in the radio section. It's all about LA Talk Live tonight and all about the great legacy of Keg Johnson. Stomp in the background, Brothers Johnson. I'll shut up right now. We'll see you in a few minutes. We've already got family in the studio. We're going to go live. Be sure to tune us in. Your iPhone, your cell phone, your tablets. I just can't tell you too much tonight how important this night is to us and how important it is for you to have no excuse but to tune in right now and for the next, I don't know how many hours. We're just going live and celebrating the life of the late, great Keg Johnson. Keg, we know you next door, man, so get yourself together, get your makeup on. We'll see you shortly, and we'll see you right here on LA Talk Live in just a few minutes. Enjoy the music, all influenced by the great Keg Johnson II. We'll be right back. Enjoy. LA Talk Live is more than just talk. You know what it is.
Step down in it, put your foot where you feel the fit. Take it to the top. Stop. You don't wanna quit. Put your heel where you feeling it. Take it to the top. Stop. Step down in it, put your foot where you feel the fit. Take it to the top. Stop. You don't wanna quit. Put your heel where you feeling it. Take it to the top. Stop. Step down in it, put your foot where you feel the fit. Take it to the top. Stop. You don't wanna quit. Put your heel where you feeling it. Take it to the top. Stop. Step down in it, put your foot where you feel the fit. Stop. You don't wanna quit. Put your heel where you feeling it. Stop. Step down in it, put your foot where you feel the fit. Stop. You don't wanna quit. Put your heel where you feeling it. Stop. Step down in it, put your foot where you feel the fit. Stop. You don't wanna quit. Put your heel where you feeling it. Stop. Step down in it, put your foot where you feel the fit. Stop. You don't wanna quit. Put your heel where you feeling it. Stop. Step down in it, put your foot where you feel the fit.
You know, life is funny when you look at it. Everybody wants love, but everybody's afraid of love. You know, I'm a true believer that if you get anything out of life, you got to put up with the toils and strife. Now listen. You're pushing my love a little bit too far. I don't think you know how blessed you are. And your friend Annie Mae tell you all she see. Have you ever thought she was trying to get close to me? Yeah. Think it over. Think it over, girl. Think it over. Look, that's the way you feel about you. And if that's been weak for you, I don't mind. That's the way I feel about you. Ooh, that's the way I feel about you. I know you've been hurt, and so has many others too. But that's a sacrifice that life put you through. Trust in me, my dear. Have no fear. You don't know, but God might have sent me here. Yeah. Think it over. Think it over. You better think it over. That's the way I feel about you. That's the way I feel about you. Let me say, that's the way I feel about you. Yeah. Oh, that's the way I feel about you. I know, you know how I feel about you. Well, that's the way I feel about you. Please, I'm in love. If it ever comes knocking at your door, 'cause what's out there knocking, baby? The world don't give enough of. I know you've been hurt, and so has others too. But all you got to do is ask about the changes in ocean, girl. Dig a little bit deeper. That's the way I feel about you, yeah. Oh, that's the way I feel about you. That's the way I feel about you. Oh, Lord. That's the way. Everybody works out of their own bag. Can you understand that? I can understand that. Oh, I can understand something sweet and a candy bar. Like girl and me, that's what you are. I can understand. Going up the hill.
In the background, the sounds of Bobby Womack. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Speak On It with yours truly, Richard Karr. And we are celebrating the life and legacy of a great man who blessed our station many, many times. And later this evening, we're going to be pulling up some clips of some of the things that Keg talked about here in our studios live. We've got some great footage. Some of that I'm hoping to get produced live here tonight. But if nothing else, we'll at least have some of the sound clips from the great Keg Johnson II. Keg Johnson was such a prolific producer. He touched the lives of so many artists. One in the background right now, Freddie Hubbard, and we're celebrating the music that he either influenced or the artists that he worked with. Again, as such a prolific producer of music, Keg worked with so many artists. I don't have a repertoire or the library to cover all the music that he influenced and touched. That's okay. I'm going to play some of the artists that I know he worked with and some of the music directly that I know he, in fact, produced and influenced. So stay tuned. We've got some family in the building with us tonight. Ecor the Wolf will be joining me as well. You know him from such shows as The Wolf's Den, first Fridays of every month. In his new time slot at 8 p.m. first Fridays. He'll be joining me live on the mic. And we have the beautiful Rosemarie Owens, who's also going to be joining us on the mic tonight. So stay tuned. More great music. Here's a little Gladys Knight, someone Keg also worked with. It's going to blow your mind, the diversity of sounds that Keg has influenced. So stay tuned. It's all about a celebration for the life and legacy of Keg Johnson II. Stay tuned. This is LA Talk Live and Speak On It tonight. And I'm your host, Richard Karr. We got a lot of stuff going on. Don't worry about me. You're going to really have a nice time just tuning in and checking out some of the great guests who've joined us tonight. Oracle will be joining us tonight, and I hope with a live feature, because we've got the whole stage set up for some live presentations for Keg. Keg is next door, as I see it. He hasn't left us. He's somewhere next door, waiting on the other side when we all have to pass through that great door one day. So he's right next door. Don't worry about it. He ain't gone, and we're going to celebrate tonight with him. So stay tuned. More great music. More great interviews, LA Talk Live, Speak On It, Richard Karr, all that stuff. Let's get that out the way. It's all about Keg Johnson tonight, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
'Cause home is where the heart is, not the towns I'm drifting through. And when I spread my wings and flew away, I left my heart with you. And when I spread my wings and flew away, I left my heart with you. Here's where the heart
Here's where the heart is. When I spread my wings and flew away, spread my wings and flew away. I left my heart.
Yeah, I wanna go home.
Here's where the heart is.
Not the towns I've drifted through.
When I spread my wings and flew away, spread my wings and flew away. I left my heart.
Oh, I gotta go home.
Here's where the heart is.
Not the sights my eyes can see.
I spread my wings and flew away. Spread my wings and flew away. I left my heart.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.
Light won't ever be cold as long as I have you to hold. And if I'm away from your side, you know that I'll miss you. From morning till night, girl, I treasure each moment you're near. Treasure that good thing we share. Just one little smile is more than enough to give me the pleasure that comes with the treasure of love.
had to do to survive. I'm not saying what I did was alright. Trying to break out of the ghetto was a day-to-day fight. Being down so long, it didn't cross my mind. But I knew there was a better way of life, and I was just trying to find. You don't know what you do till you put under pressure. Across 110th Street is a hell of a tester. Across 110th Street, pimps trying to catch a woman that's weak. Across 110th Street, pushers won't let the junkie go free. Across 110th Street, woman trying to catch a trick on the street. Ooh, baby. Across 110th Street, you can find it all in the street. I got one more thing I'd like to talk to y'all about right now. Hey, brother, there's a better way out. Shorting that coke, shooting that dope, man, you're copping out. Take my advice, it's either live or die. You got to be strong if you want to survive. The family on the upper side of town will catch hell without a ghetto around. In every city you'll find the same thing going down. Harlem is the capital of every ghetto town. Let me sing it. Across 110th Street, pimps trying to catch a woman that's weak. Across 110th Street, wishes won't let the junkie go free. Oh, across 110th Street, a woman trying to catch a trick on the street. Ooh, baby. Across 110th Street, you can find it all. In the street, yes you can. Oh, look around you, look around you, look around you, look around you. Yeah. You know, people always ask me, say, Bobby, why do you always talk before you sing? You know, like I notice in most of your songs, you always have something to say. People that talk, usually, I think that you should have something to say, or you shouldn't talk just to be talking. But I feel that anytime I got something to say, I'm gonna say it, because maybe it might help you on your merry way. Like I'm an entertainer, I'm in show business, and I like to speak for all people that's in show business. A lot of people don't understand. They look at us different, but there's no difference. We need the same thing that you need. It's simple, like, just say if you were away from home. You know what I mean? And you make home, or you try, or you make an attempt to make home where it was, you know what I mean? Or where it is. So like, it's like a few days ago, I was in Chicago, and after the show, I had previously had seen this young lady sitting backstage, and she was, seemed like she had a whole lot of time on her hands. I didn't know. So after the show, I was a little lonely, and I didn't want to go back to the hotel by myself, and I had been feeling her vibe all through the whole night. So I said, hey baby, what are you doing? after the show. She said, "Oh, I ain't doing nothing." I said, "Well, dig, like I'm at the Holiday Inn in room 234. Why don't you stop by and have a drink?" She said, "Oh, you don't want to buy me no drink. You can buy me a drink right here." So you just want to get me up in your room. You know, and so many times this is said to entertainers, and it makes them feel so bad. You know what I mean? Because, like, I've always been the kind of person, if that was the case, I would tell you, yes, I want you in my room. And the only reason you would be hanging around is because you would want to be there anyway. I was waiting on the opportunity if that was the case. You know what I mean? So what people got to learn to start doing is don't be jabbing yourself. You can't fool yourself. You know what I mean? I'm just going, if I want water, I'm going to ask for water. I'll say I'm thirsty. You know what I mean? But the whole thing in all of this is just that, you know I'm going to be gone tomorrow. I mean, even if I wanted to stay, my job won't permit me to. You know what I mean? It gets real technical. It gets down in the contracts, agencies, people like that, you know? And it's all about money, behind the scenes. But with me, it's all about feeling. I don't want to get you involved. I don't want to mess up your life. If you got something going, like, hey, keep a man. It's cool to have a man from 9 to 5. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But like say, don't get hung up on me. Cause tomorrow I might be going on down. It's cool if you can handle it. You know what I'm saying? If you got a good man, remember one thing. Oh, he'll be there. When your sun go down, and I'll be somewhere running down that same old line in another town. I thought I'd let you know where I'm coming from. I don't really mean you no wrong, but I gotta keep moving on. Gotta keep moving on. And he'll be there when your lights go dim. So why chase me up and down the road? And in your mind you know that you should be with him. We can't help what we feel inside, baby. Wanna let it out, but we all hung up on pride. Oh, pride can't fulfill the need inside. Come and get it, go on home, but leave it outside. Oh, he'll be there. I'm just telling you like it is when the sun goes down. You ain't always be sweet 16. So while you still can look away, find you somebody that's gonna really mean you some good. Listen to me. But don't get me wrong, I fall in love like any other man do. But I gotta keep moving from place to place, and in my heart, I might just wanna be with you. I have to get it where I can. Can't you see I'm like...
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. As always, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, tonight to a very special episode of Speak, Own It. Say it, own it, believe it. One of the people who most represented that, who blessed our studio, is a gentleman by the name of Karr Johnson II. I have in my hand, in fact, a book from the Johnson family legacy, Jazz to Now, by Karr Johnson, and this is the first time I've touched this book, and I feel so honored. Karr Johnson has been a staple of LA Talk Live for many years. In fact, within the first year of our birth, Keg Johnson, in fact, came through our studio and was officially one of the first, if not the first, celebrities that we interviewed on our humble little network when it was in my downstairs bedroom. I was so enamored by Keg and Oracle that they became a part of the LA Talk Live family. Now, for some reason, I feel that Keg's still here. And I'm feeling like I'm waiting for Keg to walk through the door. I just, don't even feel like there's anything in this world that will take Keg from us, because he was such a powerful spirit and such an amazing individual. He worked with so many artists you wouldn't believe. We're going to run down some of that tonight as we go through the show. This is really just an impromptu ceremonial expedition into the work, the legacy of the great Keg Johnson. And we're going to have some fun with this show tonight. So we're going to feature his music. We're going to talk to some family. We're going to talk to some friends. We're just going to have some fun with it. It's unscripted. It's reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. And especially tonight, because that's how Keg would want it to be. And we know this. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on some of the other folks who've joined me in the studio for this most ceremonious occasion. To my immediate right and my co-host tonight, let me get him on camera. We've got the one and only E. Carr Wolf. You might know him from such shows as The Wolf's Den.
Yes.
First Fridays.
What up, though?
In his new time slot, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. A live presentation of performances and what have you. And Keg, of course, blessed that show.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
What up, Keg?
What up with you, Rock Money is what I call him. He's E.
Keg
Carr
Wolf.
Music.
Music.
Yeah, man. What's going on with you, man?
Oh, man, I'm just blessed to be here. Still blessed to be alive to keep the legacies going of all the greats that shoulders that we're standing on. And Keg is one of them, who's a newly giant that we're standing on his shoulders now. So we're just going to keep carrying the torch on, man. He taught us a lot. Instilled a lot of jewels in me that I'm going to cherish as well as share to the deserving.
You spoke on that on Facebook, man, the jewels that brother shared with you. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later on in the show. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I hold in my hands. I'm going to have to pass this back off so y'all can see it.
Oh, I got my copy.
Get yourself a copy of it.
I have mine.
From Jazz to Now, the Johnson Family Legacy.
Autographed.
By Keg Johnson, man. Wow, smash hits on the main drag. Man, who's this? I just can't tell you how rich this book is with knowledge, insight, photography.
Some of the stories in there,
great
man.
stories.
Oh, man.
Jerry Butler, Foster Silvers, the Silvers. The list goes on. Keg worked with everybody.
Just when he was a young man in there, like him and his cousin.
Oh my God, yeah, right.
Him and his cousin, how they were just always hanging out, Yeah, they got some stories.
I'll bore you later with my research about Keg and what I learned about him later on, which in fact I learned just a little earlier today. We'll talk about that later. But without further ado, I want to welcome to our microphone a family member, Rose Marie Owens. Welcome to LA Talk Live. Speak on it in this very special tribute to Keg Johnson. Get yourself closer to that mic. Keg ain't teach you nothing. Keg, get in here and get us set up here on that microphone. Yeah, really. Knock it off. Why don't you? All right. So welcome to the show. In the background, Steve Arrington. Someone asked me, hey, is that a song that Keg produced as well? I'm like, I'm not sure, but he worked with so many artists. The repertoire is too vast. So we're just going to talk about all the artists that Keg worked with, and we're going to feature some of the actual productions of Keg Johnson. He ain't gone.
Not at all.
He's next door. I said it earlier, man. He's waiting through the door when we got to walk through that great door one day. But Keg right next door, I swear, I barely cried because I'm waiting for him to get here. He always runs late. We know that.
Right.
I talked to Oracle. I said, you got Keg with you? She's like, no, I don't got Keg with me. You know he passed. I'm
Right.
like,
That's what she said to me, too.
Girl, knock
she
it
said the same thing
off.
to me when I came in.
Keg ain't going nowhere.
I was just like,
just get
what
him
do I say after
dressed
that?
and get him in here. Why don't you? Rose Marie Owens, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What do you know
Thank you.
about the great Keg Johnson II?
Keg was my husband for about 5 years thereabouts.
Wow.
Oh,
My
he's your
friends
husband?
all the time.
Your husband?
That's my son, Joshua Johnson.
Oh, my
Joshua
God.
Frederick
Heard he
Kagan
was coming.
Johnson.
Heard he was
Wow,
coming.
you do
Wow.
look just like him.
And look at the back of the book and
God.
compare the back of
Yes.
the book picture to this man right here.
Wow.
Do they not look alike a lot?
How about we do this? How about we do this?
Amazing.
How about we do this instead? So we're going to go off camera for a little bit. I'm going to put up Keg's picture. And how about you, young man, compare yourself to the picture that's about to come on the screen next? How about we do that
Man.
instead?
Okay.
Because that's what you're going to look like. Just as good looking. What was this, 70 years
Handsome.
later? Look at that handsome young fella right there. Anyway, talk to us about Keg.
Well, you want? Is it me?
Yes,
talking?
Yeah,
please.
You have the history with
Start
him
with
early
you.
before any of us.
Yeah, my terms for him since he passed away has been gentle soul. Keg was, I mean, everyone who come in contact with him, you can tell by even his smile. He was the sweetest person.
Infectious.
I just
And humble.
very
With
very,
all of his accomplishments.
very
So humble.
And as far as the music industry, he had so many stories to tell. It was just amazing and fun to listen to him. And then the history that he puts down, and finally, thankfully, put down, and the Oracle helped him a lot to have that happen. Thank God it got written, and I'm so proud to be part of that legacy.
All right.
So proud.
When did you guys meet? When did y'all meet?
What happened is Keg was producing, working with, I don't know if it's producing so much.
Are you a
but
singer first and foremost?
I can sing, but I'm not a singer.
Okay.
My sister is the
Your
singer
show is
of the
purty,
family.
and I know how y'all met.
Tingle. Thank you.
Show is purty.
Thank you. I'm
I
a
know
big-
what
but
Keg Karr.
anyway, but my sister they were trying to be in a group they made called Protege, and Warner Brothers was interested in them. And then
He
all
told me
of a
about that
sudden,
group.
yeah, there
you
was
talk
some
about it?
Deke. There's I think I forgot Deke's last name. She's on my Facebook, but they were practicing, and here comes this man, and he had on some red,
was
he likes
was
the
he
bright
sharp? Was he
colors. Oh,
sharp?
to me he was. And so we were like eyeing each other, and I think that's probably the same thing that happened with the Oracle when he met her too. But we clicked, and we kind of hung out pretty much the rest of the time. He came when I was in the military. I was
Okay.
I think I must have been like 15, 18 years in.
You had
at
them-
that
you
time.
had them on point.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You were in the military?
You had him on point.
20 years,
You was
20
disciplined.
years.
You were a whack?
No, I started out as a WAC, but then in 1977, I came in 74. They disbanded the WAC in
Right,
77,
right.
something like that. But
but Rose, you would love our Sunday 2 p.m. show called Veterans Day Live, because every day is Veterans Day.
absolutely.
And once a month, they
That's a big show.
dedicate the show to women veterans.
Thank you.
You
Now
already
tune
told
into
me
that.
you don't live that far away, right?
I'm not far at all. 15 minutes.
I would love to get you back down here for that show, because it's all about veterans, and once a month, all about women veterans.
You got it. I'll be here.
You
I
with it?
will be here.
You about it,
Yes,
about
I
it?
will. Thank
Nice.
you. Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you
very
for the
good.
invitation.
Back to Keg.
Yes.
So you say you came in with that suit on?
Yeah, and he was at the time he was producing. I have the album, Lynn. Oh, I forgot her last name now. I'm really bad at it, but it's in the book. Lynn. She was a singer, but like she did some songs like Dee Dee Sharp did back like a
To be real.
well,
But
two.
I'm thinking Sherlyn.
That's
My bad.
Now
Shirley.
Sherlyn,
That's
she
Shirley, yeah.
that girl I know too.
Right.
She the way I know her is because my uncle who just passed a day and a half after Keg passed,
Oh, wow.
Isaiah Owens, we call him Uncle Babe. He was pastor at the church at 757 in Hoover, and Keg and my uncle were like this.
Wow.
They, I mean, very, very tight. And, but Cheryl, that's how I know Cheryl Lynn. But I was talking about Lynn. I'm sorry I wasn't prepared for
That's
this.
okay. Yeah.
But
it's
he
okay.
why
was
this is
producing
reality
her.
radio.
Yeah, it's reality radio.
Do you know Lonzo Williams?
Of course.
I heard his name.
Lonzo had, I don't know if he still uses it, but he had a studio in the rear house of his where he lives there, not too far from where we live.
And what part of the city did y'all live at that time?
we lived in Northridge. We
Okay.
got a place in Northridge.
Wow.
And yeah.
Moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment at that point.
Yeah, I was. It's just before I was retiring. I met Keg, and
From the military.
Well, I didn't. My military didn't bring me in contact with him. It was my sister.
I want to go back. You
Yes.
spent how many years?
20.
20 years.
20. I'm retired.
And you retired at what rank?
At staff sergeant, not too much, not very high. It's not a very high rank, but the reason why is because I came in the Army I came in medical supply, and I went into computers, and at the time back then there was no internet. There was nothing, none of that. There was,
So,
there were
Rose,
no PCs.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know assembler and COBOL and RPG?
I'm not a
Right.
I'm not a programmer.
Fortran.
I know a little bit of Fortran.
But oh my God! So now this show has just become the Rosemary Owens show.
I'm sorry,
This is
Rosemary Owens
fascinating.
Johnson in parentheses.
Johnson
now.
in parentheses because that's so fascinating. Wow, you spent 20 years
20
in the
yes.
military.
In the last.
You're a true soldier. Soldierette.
Thank you.
No, you ain't got to put the "ed" on it. Soldier.
He's
There ain't no
got it
such
right,
thing as
too.
soldier
Just want to keep it classy.
You ain't got to
yeah.
feminize
Just want to
soldier.
feminize it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Keep them
they
on their little
soldiers.
We call them service women.
service women.
Thank you. You know, we had,
Servicemen and service women.
on that show, Veterans Day Live, I heard some women talk about how they feel the word veteran is so masculine that they don't normally have that applied to them or feel that is applicable to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was insane because it was almost as if those young women felt that the military belonged to men when, you predate. You don't, but wax predate you.
Yes.
Women,
Yes, I
Air
was one- I
Corps
was.
predates you. Yeah,
Well, it was
and
Army
then,
Corps.
then it was changed. So this goes back decades of
Yeah.
women serving the military, not just in factories, but in the military.
I'm
Not just as
really
nurses.
surprised. I'm surprised at the feeling that veteran isn't applicable to women.
I gotta get you on that
do.
show and introduce you to these
I'm
women.
definitely a vet. I'm a vet. You can
True
call-
vet.
And I
When did you
I-
retire? When did you
I ascribe
retire?
to
What
it.
year did you retire? In the
1994. I've been
90s? Okay.
retired over 20 years now.
Wow.
21 years.
And you
over
spent
21.
20. Do you understand, Rock, that what it takes to be in the military
Man,
for 20
That's
years?
some mental toughness.
And if you look at Keg in a lot of the pictures, I think I influenced him into a lot of his clothing being right now it's not. He's in these pictures that we're seeing now. He doesn't have on, like the camouflage and the camouflage hat. But that was one of the attire that he tended to. Even the pants sometimes for a while.
Because of your influence on his
I think
design.
so.
And I
He
love
was really proud of
military
that
style.
about
I
him.
love military fashion.
Thank you.
I love epaulets and all
Oh,
that
yeah,
stuff.
I love
on my
epaulets.
clothes.
I love evidence on my
I'm gonna
shirt.
tell you what I really love. I love cargo pants.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
so
a
crazy
Keg.
about
That's a
cargo
Keg
pants.
thing too. That's a Keg. That's one of his things too.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So I didn't want to turn it into your show, but I'm so fascinated by that. And before I move off that topic, I've got to connect you with an organization called Makeovers That Matter. MJ Derricott is the founder of that organization and an avid supporter of Veterans Day Live, Sundays 2 p.m. Pacific. And what he does is help women of the military come out, reacclimate, and I don't want to use this reference, but I'll say refeminize themselves.
Thank you. Now there's something.
Is that okay to
just,
say that?
Please. Just recently, I made a post on Facebook that I said that basically that I lamented the fact that I tended to not I don't wear makeup. I have plenty of it.
But you're naturally
I don't-
beautiful, though,
Thank
so
you. You're
you
so
don't need
sweet.
that,
Thank
yeah.
you. So sweet. But I don't.
No, I'm just
I
rich.
don't,
That's a joke. I'm sorry. I'm always working on material.
Thank you, but for some reason, I love to see women who do the whole
rotate
thing,
out and
the whole-
refeminize, yeah,
all of that.
reacclimate.
But to do it to myself, I think the military may have instilled in me a sense of selflessness versus us.
Because it's all about service.
I think so. I think
Exactly.
that's where that comes from. And so self-effacing, or however they say self-effacing, I don't know what it is,
Right.
but I say self-effacing is me. So I think that's probably I'd rather be a background singer than the front the person up front. I'll write the songs, but let my sister sing them.
Right.
Help Keg get someone to sing them. That's me.
All right, hold on, guys.
Background.
I'm going to try something here that I've not tried before. And hold on one second. Let me see if this will
Give
work.
it a shot.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Grandmaster.
Got a big one.
Grandmaster.
Hey, Rich.
Us.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Rich.
Can you hear me?
Hello, hello.
Hello,
All
hello.
right, so he can't hear me. All right, so I'm going to tell.
Maybe your speakerphone.
Yeah, well, let's try it. Grandmaster. Jerry. Yeah, he already hung up. He knows the studio line, he ought to, because he's a broadcaster here.
Oh, you call a regular line,
yeah.
right? They call a studio line?
I'm going to text him the studio line so he'll know how to call in. That would be Jerry Bell. I call him Grandmaster. Jerry Bell, the lead singer for the Daz Band. And
He came. He was there.
Exactly,
He was there,
yeah.
and Keg saw him.
and he's going to be calling in as
Yes.
well
Yes, he was.
in a little bit. So I'll just text him the studio line. He might not have that handy. He's in Vegas. And I asked him if he could be here tonight. He said, I cannot be present in the studio, but I will call in. So we'll be talking to Jerry very shortly once I get him on the line with us on the 473 line. And for the folks out there, any of you who are connected with our friend and kin, I like to call him Keg Johnson II, you can give us a call. You can pipe in on the line, 323-473-3100, 323-473-3100. And you can chime in on the conversation. We're celebrating the life and legacy of the one and only Keg Johnson, who is just next door, still in makeup. We know he's going to show up a little later on tonight. We'll get him in here inevitably. But in the meantime and in between time, you got to enjoy the picture of him on the screen that will come up momentarily. We've got one in the studio that's hanging on the screen over there so everybody can understand what this is really all about. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Exactly.
That's right. Well, actually, Keg was in the studios of Melvin Mad Money Mel, working with MDK, a brand new artist who is, going to be one of the hottest new artists on the scene. Reminds you of Jimi Hendrix with the hair and the look and the style. I'll pull that picture up a little later and put that up on the screen as well. But Keg was here one evening to celebrate with them the release of one of their new albums. And here we have this man who has spent decades in the industry with all of his experience and his knowledge and insight and how he could guide an artist. We connected these two people to these two entities, these two things together, bigger than just individuals, so large that they created this whole new movement of music that Keg was so heavily involved with just before he went next door. So, yeah, he'll be in the studio a little later tonight, and you see him on the screen right now, or we'll pull him up throughout the night. We're celebrating the life and legacy of the great Keg Johnson. We've got Rosemarie Owens Johnson in the studio, and he said he didn't want to say nothing, but I just got to get him on the mic to say a little something.
Yeah,
something.
you can't be here and be
You might have
silent all
thought
the
this
time.
meeting
Gotta get a
me for
sound
the
out
first
you.
time that this was going to be one of those square little situations that, you go to a radio station and they are like real square and you can't say much. Nah, this is reality radio, handcrafted for our audiences listening and viewing pleasure. So you can be yourself and speak your mind, say your piece, tell our audience who you are and your connection to the great Keg Johnson.
So, Keg Johnson was
Closer
my
to that microphone, please.
Keg Johnson was my father. My name is Joshua Johnson, Joshua Frederick Keg Johnson.
And welcome to the show. Let me give you a rousing round of
Dope.
applause. I told you Keg was here. He's next door in
He's
makeup.
right here.
You feel me?
Little piece of.
Yeah.
He's right here.
All right, come
And-
closer.
I don't know what to say. My first memories of my dad were of him being my dad. He's always been there. He's always been one of the wisest people that I've ever known in my life.
That's dope.
He
To
has,
say that.
he has so many stories and so many interesting. He meets so many interesting people. Knows so much of my family on both sides,
Huh.
which is pretty interesting, I think. I don't know. It's just surreal now that he's gone, and that now that he's moved next door.
He's next door. That's all it is. He's in makeup right now. He'll be out momentarily.
Man, just to listen to him talk, I could just sit and listen to Keg for just hours or days or just, because he has so many stories in this. And if you were a part of that life, then it's just intriguing to hear it. You could just be quiet and just like, wow, let me just suck all this game up. Let me just get it.
Yeah.
And my son Joshua, he does have a musical acumen. When
He looks like it. He looks like a musician already.
Right, he does got that look
Yeah.
like he just plays the guitar. So just
Absolutely.
He started off. Joshua started off with
the bass.
The cello.
Oh, the cello! Wow, we got a buddy named Mike Bond. If you're listening out there, Mike Bond plays
Mike
the
Bond's
cello.
going to be calling in tonight.
He'll be calling in tonight.
Absolutely.
He plays the cello as well.
Absolutely.
Went to Fisk University with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you still playing the cello?
I still play the cello sometimes.
Closer to the mic.
I still play the cello sometimes, but I play bass now. I started on cello, then I went to violin, and then the next year I started on double bass, and I've been playing since sixth grade.
And all upright or
And later,
Both.
and I've started both. I started originally on upright, but then a couple of years ago I picked up electric bass, which
what
is really
part of the
fun.
city do you live in?
I actually live in El Paso, Texas.
He's
Oh
in
my
school.
God.
He's
Wow.
at UTEP. That's school my alma mater.
Oh, that's your alma
He's going
mater?
to school.
All right, UTEP.
UTEP. Now,
So-
you might see Keg sometimes with a jacket on.
I think I've seen that.
Jacket and a t-shirt, a
UTEP, huh?
sweatshirt.
You know, if you can remember the Glendale Philharmonic,
I've heard the name, but I don't
right? Of course, because they're a well-known orchestra out here. Glendale Philharmonic. Just go to their website, Glendale Philharmonic, right? Easy
Yes.
for a cellist and an accomplished musician like yourself. That said, you'll find the name of the founder. His name is Ruslan Biryakov.
video.
All right, he's Russian, and he's a cellist. I've never seen, and he's a classical cellist. I mean, it's the Philharmonic, right? But you got to check him out on YouTube. Again, Ruslan Biryakov is harder to remember than Glendale Philharmonic. So whichever one you can reference, go to YouTube and check him out playing the cello.
Wow.
I'd love to connect you guys. Even though I know you are moving on to other instruments, I'd love to connect you guys because he's a phenomenal, world-renowned cellist. I've got a soundbite I want to play from Keg's last visit with us here in the studio. Let me see if I can cue this up properly.
If you don't mind, I'd like to give a special shout out to my man Keg Johnson, who
In the building.
has really, helped us a lot. Keg is not. I want to just get a little bit with Keg because see, I'm standing here and I can say, Keg is a gentleman who put me on the phone with George Johnson, with Brothers Johnson, Mobb Deep, that's his nephews, Prodigy. I'm gonna give a shout out to Prodigy and Havoc. And George and Lewis Johnson, Brothers Johnson, and this gentleman right here has brought a situation with my son as to where the mentorship has led to something that is going to be very, very monumental. And we appreciate him. Yes.
My mentor as well. So
We appreciate
all in the same boat.
Yes, sir.
You know what the definition of mentor is, don't you?
No.
Survivor.
There you go.
Okay.
True survivor.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me something,
You know
Ted.
me. I've been a leading edge producer. Let me tell you something. What we have here is the next wave. This is the next. This is what our race, the human race, traditionally loves wonderful art, painting, sculpture, whatever, music. Over the last few years, because of the technology and the politics and the et cetera and all those things, our people have been robbed, literally, of music. And many of our young hip-hop artists were robbed of their heritage. Now, these young brothers, for reasons of that I understand, heritage and so forth, that's how I got mine, was heritage, have those roots.
Right.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The last time I felt this much charisma in a group in an ensemble of musicians like this was a band called Sly and the Family Stone.
Hey,
Talk about it.
Now I know
Speak
Sly
on
when I was 17 and he was 18. He was a DJ at K-Soul. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I know him from way back. He was producing a group called the Bo Brummels. But when he put Sly and the Family Stone together, it was a group just like this. Everybody was a star. That's what that song is about.
Yeah.
This is charisma. This is what the people not only want, this is what the people need. Okay? This young gentleman here is going to I can't say replace. He is going to become a legend. Okay, I don't want to compare him to Jimi Hendrix, simply because Jimi Hendrix was a great rock and roll guitar player. He wasn't a rock and roll guitar player. He was a blues guitar player. Okay, we all know what that's about.
That's right.
But I'm not trying to compare this man to Jimi Hendrix in musical terms. But I'm comparing him to Jimi Hendrix in terms of his star power, his impact on the universe.
You know, it's a trip because.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. So, what you just heard was a sound bite from the great Keg Johnson, who was in our studio some months back.
You know, one thing
when
that
was
always
recorded.
You know, one thing that always gets me, because I've been living long enough, and I understand life and death. I know what it is. You know, for what it is. You know, in this physical plane that I'm living on. So as far as the effect of me, you know, up with it. You know, but it's just one thing that always baffles me still about life and death. It's the fact that we see these people, they were actually here. Yep. You know, and then they're like not here anymore. And then to just hear the voices of these people. You know, I was watching, we was at a documentary the other day it's called The A&R Man, and we want to send a shout out to Mickey Stevenson, William Mickey Stevenson, who was the first A&R of Motown Records. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and Keg, all these guys know each other. They all know each other. They all legends in the game. But it was just the fact that I'm sitting there, you know, listening to Keg now, but at the documentary the other day, they had my father in this documentary. You know,
speak on it.
And it was just beautiful to see my father up there actually moving, you know, live, moving. And I hadn't seen that in so long. Just to see him. And I had never saw that footage before. Because my father's rest in peace. He's not here anymore either. And just to see him make it into this particular great documentary of this great man who's still alive, who was the first A&R for Motown Records, and my father was his best friend. And then to see him, because they were like a tag team duo, tag team tandem in the theater. Wow. You know, Mickey did all the music, and my father did all the writing and directing of the plays. And just to see that, you know, and to see these guys, you know, hear Keg, to see my father, and it's just like, wow.
And that's how they affected me just then. You know, his voice.
In the same way the young Keg spoke about his father, the same way I feel about my father, you know. Yeah. I don't have no disdain towards my father. You know, it's like my father's the funniest man that I know. He would have me sitting up laughing forever, you know, just like all night, just laugh. Like, really, this man right here is the funniest man that I know. Really, can't wait to hear my dad. Like, what you got for us tonight? That kind of situation. Nice. And I got a lot of that, you know, dealing with Keg. You know, hanging with him because he's an entertainer, you know, father figure, and he reminded me a lot of my father, and that's the stuff that he instilled in me. You know, just like listening to my father again. You know, and I was just thankful to be around Keg, you know, for him to be that the elder age that he was, and to still be hanging out with us. Yeah. You know, then giving us game. You know, because I didn't look at him like this pops or this older. This is just one of the boys. This is my dog. You know, and that's how it was. But with much respect, because you know he's the elder and he's a quadruple OG, triple O homie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
My man, and I miss you, brother.
Me too. Thank you so much for doing this tonight.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
It is our extreme pleasure, and I do have to tell you, if you all will bear with me. Hold on one second. Let me see something.
They made their money in the catalog. Today's catalog is free because of the internet. So that's why they're dying. It isn't because they can't promote songs. It's because they can't make money anymore that way. They can't rob us anymore.
Exactly. They can't.
Okay?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And the thing that, and to your point that you made, I mean, that's why I was excited. Because I remember I must have been 20, and I was complaining about, you know, the direction music was going and whatnot. And my mother just looked at me and she said, "You act like this is something new." She said,
all right, so in the background, what you're listening to is another episode of
she said, when I was growing up, the music,
a show here in the studios of LA Talk Live, and that was Keg Johnson in the background kicking science. Hold up, let me see.
Right. She said music was horrible.
Kicking science on the music game with Jerry
Bell.
Bell.
And everything changed.
And
said,
the reason I showed you my phone is...
Well, it was a little bit before Motown. It was rhythm and blues happened.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Well, we call it rhythm. It was really rock and roll happened, which was us.
Yeah.
You know, think about Chuck Berry sitting rock and roll music.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a white thing.
Oh yeah, Little Richard. I'm fully aware of this.
Little Richard. On and on, James Brown. That's rock and roll. They used to call me rock and roll. Now I play rhythm and blues.
Yeah, that's Keg Johnson from March 13th of 2014, kicking science here in the studios of LA Talk Live about the music game. I showed my phone, on the screen because I got a call from Keg. And I'm trying to tell you that he's on his way to the studio right now. It's all game.
Right.
I know you, Keg. Look, there's his phone number and his name right there. Anyway, we got Oracle going to be joining us in the studios. In the background, the sounds of the Brothers Johnson, running for your love all night, Keg Johnson. When you going to show up and stop messing around? Come on through the studios. We're here waiting for you. If you'd like to tune in, go to www.latalklive.com. If you can't watch and you're in your car, you can still listen to us on iTunes Radio in the R&B section for all you Apple fans, or for all you other fans on your mobile device and your tablets. You can download the Ustream app. You can download the Live 365 app. You can download the AHA Radio app, the TuneIn Radio app, and the Radio Flag app. 6 different ways to watch and/or listen live. Tonight, it's all about the life and legacy of the great, the mighty, Keg Johnson.
Kiggity.
Who's next door in makeup will be joining us shortly on the microphone, God willing, but I'm only joking. But we got his family, his friends, and his kin here, and we got more sound bites from Keg of his recent visits and blessing the studios of LA Talk Live. So stay tuned. You want to call us? We're going to play some music for a little bit, wait for the other guests to arrive. We got lots of folks stopping through. It's only 7:45. We're going to take it to the top of the hour with some music. Sounds good, y'all?
Sounds beautiful.
good.
Sound like a plan to me.
Sounds great.
And I'll perform if you want me to.
Everybody can catch their breath and get some water up in them, man, and do all what you got to do. Tell your friends and family. Tune in to the station
I'm over
tonight.
here. I got people hitting me on Facebook right
I'm
now.
telling you, it's
tuning
off
in.
the
They all
chain.
tuning in.
Keg Johnson is in the studio. He is not gone. His spirit
And we broadcasting
is
live.
all around us, folks.
Yes.
And we're live in the studios of LA Talk Live. Again, life, the legacy, Keg Johnson. His blood is in the house. And we're going to go deeper than that. We got his family here, is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
His wife, his son, his blood is in the house. We've got his friends coming through shortly. We've got Oracle coming through shortly. So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, enjoy some music. LA Talk Live. Speak on it. Richard Karr.
Equal
Wolf. Rosemary Owens.
And Baby Keg.
Baby Keg.
KJ.
We just gave him a nickname.
BKJ. Baby Keg.
All right, Baby Keg. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Enjoy.
I'm your main heart, I do it all night, make your heart. I make it weak
before you sing. You know, like I noticed in most of your songs, you always have something to say. People that talk, usually I think that you should have something to say, or you shouldn't talk just to be talking. I feel that anytime I got something to say, I'm gonna say it, because maybe it might help you on your merry way. Like I'm an entertainer, I'm in show business, and I like to speak for all people that's in show business. A lot of people don't understand. They look at us different, but there's no difference. We need the same thing that you need. It's simple, like, just say if you were away from home. You know what I mean? And you make home, or you make an attempt to make home where it was, you know what I mean? Or where it is. So like, it's like a few days ago, I was in Chicago, and after the show, I had previously seen this young lady sitting backstage, and she was, seemed like she had a whole lot of time on her hands. I didn't know. So after the show, I was a little lonely, and I didn't want to go back to the hotel by myself, and I had been feeling her vibe all through the whole night. So I said, hey baby, what are you doing after the show? She said, oh, I ain't doing nothing. I said, well, dig, like I'm at the Holiday Inn in room 234. Why don't you stop by and have a drink? She said, oh, you don't want to buy me no drink. You can buy me a drink right here. So you just want to get me up in your room. You know, and so many times this is said to entertainers, and it makes them feel so bad. You know what I mean? Because, like, I've always been the kind of person, if that was the case, I would tell you, yes, I want you in my room. And the only reason you would be hanging around is because you would want to be there anyway. I was waiting on the opportunity if that was the case. You know what I mean? So what people got to learn to start doing is don't be jabbing yourself. You can't fool yourself. You know what I mean? I'm just going, if I want water, I'm going to ask for water. I'll say I'm thirsty.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
Rich.
Yeah, and we're back, ladies and gentlemen. In the background, the sounds of Bobby Womack, one of my favorites, Facts of Life. And we've got on the line with us right now the great Grandmaster himself, Jerry Bell, calling all the way from Las Vegas, I believe you are, right? Is that correct, Grandmaster?
Actually, I'm on my way to the studio right now.
Are you coming over here?
Yeah.
Well, you could have saved us this phone call then. Just get your butt
surprised
up
us
in here.
and stepped up in here.
Yeah, man. We're having a good old time.
Croon
here,
your
man.
way in the building.
Croon your way right on in, brother.
Hey, I'm on my way, brother. I'm coming from the Grove, so I'll be over there.
Okay, very good. Bring some food, would you? Thank you very much. All right, we'll see you in a minute, Grandmaster. That's the great Grandmaster Jerry Bell, who is again one of the great legends of music as well, man.
Exactly.
He
that boy show can sing.
He show can sing. He and Keg, man, connected together on a show here on the Jerry Bell's R&B Soul Classics, and man, did we have a blast with that. That's one of the clips I played earlier with Keg kicking the science. We heard that right before the musical break. We're going to go back to the music for a little while. We've got some great guests joining us here tonight in celebration of the life and legacy of the one and only, the legendary Keg Johnson II.
KJ2.
Yeah, man, we got his wife in the studio.
Keg
and his
and beer
son.
music.
We got some blood in the water tonight. We're going to be going deep on the life of Keg Johnson and all of the music and the artists that he worked with. In the background, the sounds of Bobby Womack.
Yeah.
Just one of those many artists.
What? You want to clarify something?
Yeah, come on, get in there.
It's just I just had to clarify.
Get closer to that microphone.
Although I love Keg, the whole time I knew him and everything, we didn't stay married.
That's all right.
So
you got married to him.
You was his wife. You were his wife.
I knew Keg too. Shoot.
Right, I knew Keg too. Believe me.
If I was a girl, who knows?
Because he was.
I might have loved him too.
Yeah,
he had that winner. He had that loving. He just can win you over, huh?
But in here, like the one thing that made me feel good is he said, although we didn't stay together, we ended. It was amicable. It was
right.
amicable,
I read that
and
part.
We stay friends.
I read that part. Amicable.
And he said, "I love you." He said, he knows I love him. Yeah, it's a good relationship like that.
Right.
Well, whether Keg, in fact, influenced this song by Bobby Womack or not, it sure is the life of a singer on the road.
Yes.
You know, hey girl, are you sure you want to be a part of this life? Are you sure you want to do this thing with me? Because
Hey,
I
girl.
gotta be on the road.
Yeah.
You know,
It takes a special lady to understand the
Show it,
situations
dude, man.
that we go through as an entertainer.
show it, dude. So
So
we're gonna
I'll
listen to
send it
some more music. Kick back, wait for some more guests to come through. Everybody
Okay.
relax and enjoy. Again, welcome to Speak On It, a very special episode tonight, celebrating the life and the legacy in memory of the late, great Keg Johnson. He's late only because he's running late. He's next door, still in
Hey,
makeup. Keg, knock it off. Doesn't take that long to get you pretty, boy. So we'll see you in a little while. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't you see I'm like, oh, any other man?
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Disability awareness experts, empowering and advocating for the rights of people with disabilities. The professional consultants at Disability Awareness Experts create awareness through consultation for ADA legislation and federal compliance, fair hiring practices, and educating businesses on how to hire people with disabilities. With affordable prices offered at different levels, our mission is to empower the lives of people with disabilities and enhance employment opportunities. For more information, visit www.daexperts.net. That's www.daexperts.net. Or call 202-549-4793. The Disability Awareness Experts, educating and empowering individuals with disabilities. Proud sponsors of the Veterans Day Live.
Xavier Tees and Tots, groundbreaking fashion, forward street smart designs. Tees and Tots for men, women, and boys. Visit XavierUSA.com. Once again, that's XavierUSA.com. Hubert's Lemonade, tasty, refreshing, sweet, and tart. Happiness in a bottle. Visit Hubert's Lemonade at Hubert'sLemonade.com. Once again, that's Hubert'sLemonade.com. Happiness in a bottle.
Yeah, this is the hip hop school of arts, y'all. And all you gotta do is dream, believe, and create. So let's go. This is the first hip hop school in the world, giving to the youth in the heart of P-Town. Pomona, come through, visit the facility, take a long look. Right now we're making history. All the elements of hip hop under one roof, and you can learn every one if you want, like pop, rock, DJing, and urban art, beatboxing, and b-boying, and entrepreneurship. That's how we doing it. You see, our mission is to provide a technical trade program worldwide to transform each student's creative energy into marketable skills you see through education, guidance, and self-expression. And I'm the one who can teach you how to MC. The Hip Hop School of Arts is the place to be, so let's go. Visit hiphopschoolofarts.org or stop by the facility at 499 North Gary Avenue in Pomona, California for more info. You can also call us at 909-622-4472. Be a part of something special.
Love and devotion. In the tracks of lost emotion, it's going to subside. She stole mine, but it's just a misdemeanor. You got to get over it. What you gonna do when I think I'm in love and I catch my girl doing me wrong? It's just enough to set it back in the start.
celebrating the life of Keg
D.O.
Johnson and all the music that he touched and influenced in his lifetime. Yes. Just coming back from the break, we heard from the Silvers Misdemeanor in the background right now. Is it funky enough? The DOC. Yeah, that's the remix, baby. This is all of the music and the span, the gamut of music that Keg Johnson, the incredible Keg Johnson, influenced. So stay tuned. We're going to play some more music. We've got some more guests coming through. We got the mighty, mighty Oracle coming through.
Yeah.
She's got a live performance for you. We've got it all set up. So all you got to do is stay tuned. We are celebrating the life and legacy of Keg Johnson. So stay tuned. More music, more guests. We'll be right back. It's live from LA Talk Live. Get it some.
Keg, we love ya. Gone but not forgotten, brother.
Show him that I am ruthless. I don't give a damn. Don't think that I am joking, cause I don't think it is funny when you're messing with my money. And stick with tell me this. You'll try, you gotta stop him. But with no frills, so I just drop him. Continue with the rhyme and make sure I get mine with no static, cause it's so the SMG to get my 9. But less than 7 word, now I get it all I'm fun and let it play. When the people say, Trey, yo, it's funky enough. Rasta.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network for original reality radio and crafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.
but this nigga's behind him. Afro out there, and a little kind of funny looking keyboard. What the fuck? And he looked like Svengali, and he walked in like this, and her name is Sagiti. Shit. I forgot, I just shut what we were doing down. I said, man, he said, what you got, man? He said, and he started looking at the studio and shit. I said, this nigga's a fucking genius, okay. What the fuck you doing? He said, I said, go play, set, so he set his shit up. He started playing this little drum machine. He had one of the little first drum machine. We call them Frankie. You know, little simple drum machine. But he started playing some other shit. It was really, what was the name of the song? I could name this song. It was a great song. I said, whoa, play the shit. He said, I can't play it. You wrote it, didn't you? Play it. And he did. Shit, I almost named the song again. But anyway, it's Sagiti. Okay? That's why Sagiti. I met him, just Richard Aaron found him, I don't even know where. But he walked in the studio and he had an afro big as your head. Dick was coming down. Now we tight. Okay, Dick was unguided on a solo, I reckon. You know what I'm talking about. Dick Griffey.
Dick Griffey on solo.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So Dick was coming down the stairs, right? And I said, hey man, and now he said, okay, Johnson, what's happening? And walked on off. Now we know. I said, damn, I ain't seen you in 6 months. Hey, what's that? Oh, I'll call you, man. Shit, okay, so we continued on up. And I walk in the office. And it was tore up. It was fucked up. And then the program director was bleeding and shit. Hey, they took his money and didn't play his record. And the chairman of the board walked in and kicked their ass. They were playing the record when I walked in there, though. They played it every hour on the hour.
Dick Griffey, the man, he even played that.
Hey,
I love Dick Griffey.
You on. That's the way you want to play. I don't like that kind of shit. I like rules.
That's right.
I like living in a civilized world, man. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Yeah.
Dick Griffey was a fair man.
Man, right, man. All kinds of fair.
Can you understand that? You can understand that.
Something sweet and a candy bar. Like girl and me, that's what you are. I can't understand it. I can give going up
met us at the airport, and it was my friend right here, Keg Johnson.
Keg Johnson. And you know, I knew you would have kind of got to wear Bermuda shorts.
Absolutely.
In the
No legs,
Northwest.
no brain, no nothing.
Little
But wait a
bony
minute,
little
now, hold
leg.
up. Hold up, y'all.
Wow, what a small
Look,
world.
I never met the man before. You know, I like to be introduced to him.
Let's introduce you to the one and only Keg Johnson.
Jerry, I know somebody before you.
No, don't believe him.
He's lying.
Oh, you're
Okay.
joking. You're joking.
Yeah,
Oh, darn.
That's my brother right there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, y'all. So in the background, what you were listening to is a little clip of Jerry Bell's soul R&B classics. The Grandmaster himself, Jerry Bell, will be joining us on this most momentous night where we are celebrating the life and the legacy of Keg Johnson. Just before we came back, a little clip of Keg Johnson, and I believe you were here too.
Yes, that's
with
right. This is
Brenda
the
Lee
Oracle.
Eager.
Yes.
On the microphone with Keg, and she hadn't seen Keg for years, man. In the background, in the meantime, that's Bobby Womack. And again, one of the great artists that Keg Johnson worked with. And I'm going to tell you, man, how I know Bobby Womack. Bobby Womack has been to the studio. Some of his relatives have, some of his blood's been in the studio, as we have the blood of Keg Johnson in the studio tonight.
Yes.
Exactly.
And my mama used to say to me, Ricky, come down here and play my record. And guess what it was?
What was it?
Bobby Womack.
Okay, look
You
at
know,
that.
and
Yeah.
one of the artists that the mighty Keg Johnson worked with. I want to go back to a little bit of that interview, if y'all will bear with me, because
Oh,
we've got
yes.
some new guests who just joined us in the studio. But check this out right here.
The God of my earth life.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why he said, come pick us up,
Yeah.
And this little pretty girl came up with this big old voice, and I said, who is this? And she must have weighed, like I said, she weighed about 4 or 5
You're
pounds.
right,
She
you're
was
right.
about
Oh,
11,
wow.
but maybe she was 3 feet high.
Yeah.
And she was about 6. How old were you?
I was 22.
Yeah, but she looked like she was about 11.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I got a picture of you and Jerry in my book. I did, yeah.
I
yes,
know.
yeah,
That's
great.
so cool.
Yeah, I was here. I'm picking up the legend and the future legend in my little car. I think I picked her up in a Volkswagen or something.
We didn't know. We didn't get. I was just so glad to be in California. Wow. And I told Jerry that day, I'm not going back. I am not going back to Chicago. He said, B, you can't just up and leave Chicago. Your record company's here. I don't care. I am moving to Los Angeles.
And she told me to figure it out.
Yeah, we just figured it out, and we did.
Well, Miss Brenda, can I let you know I am too a Chicago native.
All right, girl. Where'd
Yes.
you live?
South Side, of
Me too,
course.
girl,
You
me
know we
too.
from the South Side.
I live
That's so
48.
drive.
Look, 48th and Lake Park.
We live back at the LA Talk Live, and tonight's special night is dedication for one of music's legendary legends, greats, Mr. Keg Johnson II. So we back live at LA Talk Live with your host Richard Karr, Eco the Wolf. We have the lovely Rosa Marie. We have Keg Jr. We have the beautiful Oracle and the lovely Tuesday Connor in the building right about now, and the brother Jerry Bell, Grand Wizards on his way, Grand Master, I should say.
Jerry Bell's
Grand
on his
Master
way.
Jerry
man.
Man.
Bell, break bones artist, also music extraordinaire, singer extraordinaire from the legendary group Daz Band will be in the building with us.
After that soundbite with Brenda Lee Eager and Keg Johnson, I'm breaking down.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's a beautiful thing.
So I had to throw it to you,
Wait.
and thank you for bringing it in so well. But
doubt.
let us, in the meantime and in between time, let us put our hands together for the one and only Miss Oracle, who is in the
my
building
goodness.
tonight. Yes, indeed.
You know, wait a
Yes,
minute.
indeed.
I am
Yes,
a
indeed.
consummate teacher. I have to tell you, it's Brenda Lee Yeager.
Put your hands together.
She pronounces it Yeager.
Yeah,
Yeager.
Okay.
I heard
so yes, thank you for
Yeager,
thank you for the
yeah,
introduction. Thank you
right,
for
right.
you know what, folks.
Oracle, thank you for joining us tonight. This is such a momentous occasion for me, for us. We're going to be here as long as it takes to celebrate the life and legacy of this brother, man, because, man, you and Keg in the at what we call affectionately the egg, because it was on Canterbury Street, Canterbury
Yes.
Eggs. a little bit of a mix-up of the references, but we called it the Egg because it's where this station started.
Yes. Yes.
And
in a room, in the living room, was
downstairs bedroom.
Oh, that's what it was.
Word. Yeah, I converted it. I'm like, I'm not sleeping down here. I sleep
Yeah.
upstairs.
Yes.
Let's put together a studio in this humble little apartment. And you and Keg.
I know. It's
Early in the game.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Because I'll do it on camera and I'll do it on mic. I don't care.
Richard,
Yeah,
I was
Montiel,
going
yeah,
to ask
Montiel
you,
would-
may I tell the audience,
Please,
be ready.
by all means.
I'm ugly when I cry.
Yeah.
So,
all right. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh, baby, you
The
haven't
tears of an
seen me
angel.
cry.
That's all right.
I'm so thankful for Rose Owens here sitting next to me.
Absolutely,
because
man.
she reminds
Round of
me.
applause.
She says little things that makes me laugh, and so I stop crying and I start
Right,
laughing and
right,
smiling.
right,
You
that's
know,
good.
and people, when I cry, it's not that I'm crying out of sadness.
Right. Exactly.
I am
Joy.
I am crying for
Triumphant
joy,
joy.
for the absolute positive opportunity to have had Keg Johnson in my life. Oh my God, he was opinionated. He could go there and then some. But you know, there are some people in your life you just gotta love them.
Gotta have
You
them.
know
You
what I'm
got to have
saying?
that.
And
You need that.
You need that as a balance
You need
in your
that.
life. You know, because
To let you
I'm
know
out
that you
there.
exist.
I'm all the way out there. Keg likes to say that he operates out of the box, baby. There is no box where I'm concerned. And sometimes Keg had to rein me back in. You know, and you'd be bumping heads, but then when you stop and you think about it, and you take
Ain't
in the
understanding mellow.
full scope of it, yes.
Ain't
Because when it all said, when it all boiled down, he
Ain't
knew what he was talking
understanding
about.
mellow, you know, and exactly because you forget, Keck was a generation ahead of me.
Exactly, and
okay?
way ahead of me.
You
so
know what I'm saying?
I had
And
no
I
choice
forget
but to
there are
listen.
things he saw, things he did, things he created, things that happened because of him.
Yes.
Had he not been there, it would not be. Okay, and he has
catalyst.
that reference. I don't, and I had to remember that.
Let me
know?
kick back and allow this man to, manifest in me what he see in me.
And I'm
let
telling
me
you-
sit back and listen and learn.
Now
Because-
you guys have heard the story before, where Keg and I were working on my CD, right? I got a story to tell, and we were working on some music, taking one of my poems, which is what we did. We took my poems and turned them into songs. You know, he'd help me write the hook because I didn't know about writing hooks and things like that. Now that's one thing he will do. He'd teach you how to write some music. Okay, he'd teach you how to write a song.
Even
and
me?
so, and I'm up
Would
there
he have
writing.
taught me?
Yeah, oh, he would have, baby. Okay, and then at one point I got frustrated because you know how it's our baby.
Right.
This is mine.
Right.
and I
They
felt
took
like
my song and changed it.
you see what I'm
That
saying?
song was,
Exactly. You know,
Mhm.
and so I got upset and I shouted at him. I said, "You're not a poet." He says, "No, baby, I'm not, but I'm a songwriter." And we're writing songs right now. We're not writing poems. And it was the way he said it, because sometimes you say something to make you upset, but then most times he would say something that make you think. And I had to take a breath and say, "You know, you're right. I'm sorry." And we came up with Freedom Wakes Me Up. Freedom Wakes Me Up got me my second spoken word Billboard Award. Freedom Wakes Me Up got me my gig at the UN, wherein the King of Jordan was the first person to give me a standing ovation when I did it. Okay,
Again.
okay. So therein lies there are many stories like that. Any of us in this room right here could tell about Keg Johnson. You know how one thing dominoed into another. You know, Rose. No, Rose. I thought you might have, because see, Rose, you guys have to understand something. Rose was there when a great many of his creations were going down, you know, with the Bobby Womack thing and the Steve Arrington and any number of those other artists that I didn't get to experience.
Right, that's the history.
I was one of the artists.
Right.
She got to see him working with the artists, you know. So I'm sure you've got some stories, Rose, that would.
Yeah, she told us some earlier, too,
Oh,
man.
man,
I
you
see a
know.
plethora of 'em.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I am so blessed to have known Keg in this latter part of his life. The last 10 months of his life, he lived with me in hospice care. Well, we went in and out of palliative care to hospice care and back and forth, because the hospice people say, "You're not dying," you know, because he was still alive after 6 months, you know?
Right. We've been telling people all night he's next door.
He
in
is.
makeup right now.
He's in makeup right now.
He's next door.
not gone.
He's not gone.
You know why Keg's not
He all up
gone?
in
He's
this
got
piece.
some projects he's working on.
Exactly.
He all
He's
up
got
in
the
this
song
piece.
Precious that he wrote for his daughter, okay, that he's got on the table. He's got got a piece called "Follow the Drinking Gourd," which Brenda Lieger is the lead vocal on that, and he
wrote that for me. Actually, did you know
I
that
believe
the Drinking Gourd?
I know what he's
He
saying.
wrote that for me.
Yeah, you know, but
Yeah, he told
so
me
he's
about
got
that.
that
He just didn't wanna
project.
embarrass me.
He's got my project. We were supposed to go to China this summer. So we've got that. Keck's got he's got a couple of things on the books right now. So folks, I am going to implore that each and every one of you out there listening to my voice and hearing the spirit of Keg coming through me, I'm going to ask that you lift up every bit of positive energy. Speak it out loud if you can, if you will, if it's in your heart to do so, that each and every one of Keg's upcoming projects comes to fruition, as was his wish. You know, he wanted always to make sure that he left something for the universe, something that everybody could learn from, that everyone could grow from, that everyone could recognize their own greatness from. You know, that was his goal. That's really what he wanted to do in all of the music that he shared with everyone and all of the many projects that he has begun and looks forward to coming to fruition. So there you have it. I
met Keg in Palm Springs. We had a show with John B. and the Oracles on that very same show. And I met both of them at this time.
Yes.
You know, I met Oracle actually earlier that night because she kind of chin checked me about a sound check, which was lovely. You know what I'm saying? Because she was correct. You know, but we ended up going back to the villa and we were in there. And I think we were playing cards or something. They was playing dominoes, whatever it was. You know, having drinks. You know, just party favorites and all that kind of stuff. So we in there kicking and listening to music. And I saw this cool gentleman over there, so I got to chit chat with him over there, you know. And I'm like, dang, this OG. I'm like, this dude cool as hell, no way. So, you know, we just sitting there chilling, and then all of a sudden, one thing led to another, and then I started playing some music. Like, boy, you got some music, boy. Then we started speaking about theater.
Yes.
And then one thing led to another. I spoke about a certain theater, Inner City Cultural Center, and then that's when he said, hold on. He said, hold on, Oracle. He said, you might know this young man's father, blah, 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 blah. He said, you know his father? And then he's like, his father's name is Cliff Rockmore.
I worked for Cliff. I was his production assistant.
She stopped and walked over there and just gave me a long hug. And I'm hugging her and everything, you know.
Yep.
And then Kay and I just finished, you know, we just conversed the rest of the night. And then he offered for me to ride back with them. And they limo all the way back, you know, to L.A. I said, well, no, I got to stick around because, you know, with these people, I got clothes over here and everything. So, but then after we got back, you know, I stayed in touch with him periodically. And then I would always just ask for, like, knowledge and a lot of stuff. He said, man, you know what, man? He said, you know what I like about you? I said, what? He said, not one time have you asked me for nothing. You never asked me for, like no money or hook you up with something, hook you up. He said, you always ask me for just knowledge. Mm-hmm. I said, well, because I'm a hustler. I'm from Detroit, dog. I said, I'm a hustler. I'm going to get money. I know how to get that. I said, but with the knowledge that you can give me, that's jewels. That's more precious than any dollar value that I could ever get.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, you know what? I'm going to always give you whatever you need when it comes to that. And all I ask for you is just to pay it
Pass
forward.
it on.
Pass it on.
Exactly.
Can you do that for me? I'm like, man, you got that.
Oh, my goodness.
Hold on now. Yeah,
Wait
don't
a minute.
get excited.
Okay.
Don't get excited.
Oh,
all right,
ladies, you better tighten up your underwear,
Hold
baby.
on now.
Oh, I'm telling you.
We have in the room some other family, friends, and kin of the great Keg Johnson II, who's going to be joining us on the mic. We need to reconnoiter. We're going to do that. In the house tonight, the 24th letter, Victor, the X-Man Taylor, and the one and only, the Grandmaster himself, Jerry Bell. We've also got Mad Money Mel in the studio tonight with us. We're live celebrating the life and times of the one and only Keg Johnson. We've got sound clips. We've got family, friends, and kin. You'll want to stay tuned. We've got to reconnoiter. Y'all stay tuned. Enjoy some music. Again, a little Bobby Womack. You know Keg worked with him. And some other artists we're going to be featuring tonight here live in the studios of LA Talk Live. It's Speak On It. I'm your host, Richard Karr. Never mind me. It gets greater later. Right after this. Stay tuned. No doubt.
Girl, you're welcome. Step on back. Step on back. One day, I might be the one who make you cry. Don't take for granted. Oh, I'll always be
It's sad to think we're not gonna make it, and it's gotten to the point
first sight. Ooh, baby, you're blowing my mind. Ooh, I just got to let you know. Energy flowing. I said it feels so good. I gotta tell you, my name is Stevie. What's yours, baby? Walking down the street, watching ladies go by, watching you. I'm watching you and only you, baby. Walking down the street, watching ladies go by, watching you. You're blowing my
Disability awareness experts, empowering and advocating for the rights of people with disabilities. The professional consultants at Disability Awareness Experts create awareness through consultation for ADA legislation and federal compliance, fair hiring practices, and educating businesses on how to hire people with disabilities. With affordable prices offered at different levels, our mission is to empower the lives of people with disabilities and enhance employment opportunities. For more information, visit www.daexperts.net. That's www.daexperts.net. Or call 202-549-4793. The Disability Awareness Experts, educating and empowering individuals with disabilities. Proud sponsors of the Veterans Day Live.
Hey, shout us out. What's the count? Tune in to WDC Radio with me, Ferran Dozier, your host, aka I Am WDC, on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, as we cover aspects of sickle cell trait, interviews with doctors, nurses, caregivers, and those living with sickle cell. So be sure to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific, on WDC Radio, exclusively here on LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk.
Hey everybody, it's your man Sabir Bey back on your airwaves, inviting you to join us every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Sabir Bey Show, discussing history, law, and hip-hop. Every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Sabir Bey Show, exclusively on latalklive.com. You also can catch us on iTunes Radio and R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch us and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Ain't we funkin' now? I'm just doing it to get on Jerry Bell's man. Ain't we funkin' now?
Hey, please don't do that, man.
Ain't it funky?
Listen,
I don't even know
I gotta
the words.
come back to the
There you
radio
go.
to
So
hear
welcome,
this.
here it is.
We're back.
Welcome back to LA Talk Live and tonight's very special episode of Speak On It with yours truly, Richard Karr. Never mind me. The table is lined.
Please.
You're so bad.
As you can tell, my nemesis has returned. The Grandmaster, Jerry Bell, on the mic with us tonight. Yeah, man. And I'm very, very delighted. Yeah. So look here, man. And we've also got, of course, you know, we were on the mic before the break with the Mighty Mighty Oracle, and we've also got the beautiful Rosemary Owens and Lil Keg up in the building, and man, MDK, Lil Mad Keg. Money Mel, it's off the chain up in here as we celebrate the life, the legacy, the legend himself, Mr. Keg Johnson. Let's make a mighty noise for him. Put your hands together, yes indeed. Yeah. Better act right. Better act right. You know, he's really only next door in makeup, actually. Yes, so we're waiting for him to arrive at any given moment.
Still
so you
and
better
then
act
I will
right.
see you run out the door. When
you
that
know
happens.
I will. You know. At least once I started breaking out my vocals.
For God's sake, no.
Listen,
now, what would Keg say at this point?
He said, "Tell him to stop singing."
Here's what Keg would say: it's not that you can or can't; it's that you will. So let me get back to it. I'm just doing this to get on the Grandmaster's nerves because he hates when I sing. But it's not whether I can or can't; it's whether I will or won't, and I will, especially in light of us celebrating the life and legacy of the mighty Keg Johnson.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't
So
do it.
the Grandmaster joins us, the great Grandmaster Jerry Bell. All the ladies scream. Yeah. They warned the female audience before you got here, Grandmaster, tighten up your panties.
I did. I said that. Yes, I did. Wait a minute, you know what, ladies? You know how it
Speak
is.
on it, Oracle.
There are just some men who are just sexy. They just have it like that.
Oracle, thank you so
Okay,
much for
you know.
saying that, because I know that's gonna make Grandmaster mad that you would say that about me in his presence.
Yes, sir.
Oracle,
Nope,
listen,
not
listen.
me.
I look, I never get upset about that. We know that he wears Victoria's Secret, so it's all good.
On the low, he saw a picture of me on Facebook. I was young and needed the money, so let's keep that real. All right, I'm not ashamed.
Pretty Ricky.
No pride, no shame.
Okay, the X-Man just called him Pretty Ricky.
That's my claim to fame. No pride, no shame. Get rid of your pride, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
Because I speak about a humble man tonight, and that humble man is Kate Johnson II.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
A less humble man joins us on the microphone tonight, the Grandmaster Jerry Bell. But also, let us make a righteous noise for Victor, the X-Man Taylor, the 24th letter himself.
Yes, indeed.
Now, I will indulge myself for just a brief moment because, and I'll bring the music down in the background. The sounds of Brother Johnson. Ain't we funky now? And we are tonight, of course, once again, celebrating the life of Keg Johnson. You know, we started this station in 2009, and my business partner, Van Eric Marshall, who's not here with us right now, but he was here earlier today, the Van Eric of rock and roll himself, was at a club, as he is wont to do, because I don't go out much. You know, I don't get out much. Jerry makes me stay at home because of all my shame about my Victoria's Secret days. But nonetheless, Van met an artist who passed him 2 CDs. Brought me those CDs and said to me, hey, check this out. I met a couple of artists. You might want to check them out for your Indie Lounge show. One of those artists, not with us right now, Saba Saba, 77, one of Uganda's proudest chieftains. I don't know what you call Saba in Uganda, but what a guy, and great music, right? Yeah. But also with that CD was a CD from the X-Man, who joins us here live on the mic tonight, Victor X-Man Taylor. I like to call him 24th letter.
Yo.
Yeah. And when I listened to that music, I was like, wow, there are artists out here that me, like a regular Joe, could meet and maybe invite them to my downstairs bedroom, who will come in and grace this little tiny little studio. And that's how I met Victor Taylor. Once again, a rousing round of applause for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He didn't have his Victoria's Secrets on there.
No, that was
Jerry hitting
Joe
the
Boxes,
bell.
baby. Joe Boxes.
It got a little tough after those days, and that's why I do the thing with anyway. I learned just this week that it was only within a 7 to 10 day span that Victor, the X-Man I like to call him, had met Keg Johnson. And I did not know that because Victor himself is an incredible musician. His music plays frequently on our network. We owe you lots and lots of royalties. Have your people call our people.
Yes, yes.
All right. But he had met Keg at an affair along with Oracle, who joins us as well on the mic, and brought him to the studio within a week to be a part of a little something we did back in those days called the Indie Lounge. Just a little humble little show to fit in the music of independent artists who may not have a platform or format to get their music out there. Just a little show, and it became a big show thanks to Victor Taylor, Saba Saba, and then within weeks after meeting them, I had a chance to meet the beautiful Oracle and Keg Johnson. They were, in fact, for me, as a regular Joe from Philly, and I'm sure the Grandmaster will attest to that, they were, for me, the first celebrities that I met doing radio here in Los Angeles. And I was blown away by Keg and Oracle because of their talent, because of Keg's knowledge and background, because of all the songs that I danced to, made love to in my past. That's right, Grandmaster. I'm no longer a virgin. But all that said, man, bringing Victor Taylor back to the studio was a very special moment for me tonight because I reached out to him and said, hey, guess what, man? You need to be here tonight because we're doing a very special celebration for Keg Johnson, and you need to be here. And sure enough, he showed up. And one more time, rousing round of applause.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Rich?
Now, we know the Grandmaster, being the Grandmaster that he is, is going to take over the show from here. But in the few moments I got left before he shot me in the neck and shut me down, let me swing the microphone to you.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your music, and your experience with Keg.
Victor X-Man Taylor. I'm a music producer, multi-platinum producer. Probably most known for my work with productions and writing for Ice Cube, Mac 10, Lynch Mob, Troop, KD, KRS-One, and a lot of stuff for movies, F. Gary Gray, a lot of folks. Just recently, I just rocked with the Brothers Johnson. I rocked Louis Johnson's bass lines with George Johnson a week before last. A word up to Lou.
In the background,
rest in peace.
I had to put a little backtrack.
Yeah, check that out.
You're my superhero, X-Man. So I had to pop on your superhero music. This is Hype City
dope.
From the 24th letter. Go on, speak to
that's
it.
Hype. That's
speak
hype.
on it.
Yeah,
Speak on
and
it.
just finished a rock and roll video with X Hang-Ups, which is put together by Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses on the VH1 Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp Season 2. And so we just finished our latest music video with Dexter Wandell on the
Dexter
direction.
Wandell?
Yeah, not Dexter Wandell. Dexter
I'm about to
Wandell on the ones
That's
and
his
twos.
distant relative or something.
But you know something, Keg Johnson, I rocked a show in Leimert Park, and I'm going to tell you something. I wasn't prepared to meet this person because his music had touched me so much, especially and particularly Misdemeanor by Foster Silvers. It had been one of my favorite tunes, and then one of my favorite producers who always inspires me to produce and reach higher, Dr. Dre, grabbed one of Keg's, grabbed that very record for DLC's
Word.
Let's Get It Funky. And
Played that earlier tonight. We featured that earlier.
Definitely. And so I rocked 24th Letter, which is a bass guitar, bass and tap and talk kind of thing, which is kind of a rare thing. And Keg was in the audience. And he followed me out on the Crenshaw Boulevard at about 9:30 at night when I got through rocking. He said, brother, you a new Jimi Hendrix. I said, what? He said, you a new Jimi Hendrix. I said, man, thank you. But who are you?
And how would you know?
Right.
But little did you know.
He said, I ain't never seen nobody play and talk like that. And I said, okay, thanks, man. And he said, I produce, and I'm a producer from back in the day. You ever heard of a song called Misdemeanor? And when he said Misdemeanor, I could have fell out. For some reason, man, I was stopped dead in my tracks because he said a song that means so much to me.
And for our audience out there who may not remember the song, I'll sing it for you. It's just a misdemeanor.
You gotta get over it. Love track from the start.
So what he said. My bad.
No, but for real.
I messed that up.
So anyway, to say this.
Studio audience.
So my dad, the late Dr. B.W. Taylor, put the first major 24-track room in Compton. Marvin Gaye helped him. George Clinton helped him.
Speak on it.
Johnny Guitar Watson, George Clinton, Marvin Gaye, Frankie Gaye, all of those folks were my teachers as a teen.
I know a Marvin song. Want me to sing that while you?
No, I don't want you to even break me out. But what's really funny, though, is along with them came William Shelby. William Shelby came from the Solar family. So William Shelby was really teaching me a whole lot about how to get down in Dick Griffey's room. But my dad also put a wonderful room in Compton, California, designed by Chuck Foster and Ken Hirsch. And right there, Leon Silvers and Foster Silvers were very dear friends of mine as a kid. So when Keg said Misdemeanor, it brought back a whole closed chapter in my musicianship where I was taught by all the greats. Before I went on to produce gold and platinum records, I was taught by George and Johnny and Leon. Oh man, Leon's ridiculous, man. So when Keg said what he did, I knew the caliber that I was looking at, and I just bowed down. It was like seeing Maurice White. When you see some people, you see them, you just know what they did, and it don't matter if you don't hear their names all over the radio or all over TV. You know who the hell they are, because you wouldn't be who you were if it wasn't for them. And so what I say about Keg Johnson is he allowed me to be absolutely odd in my production approach.
You say odd?
Absolutely odd.
ODD.
ODD in my production approach. My approach to production took an odd space, and I didn't care what people thought. And for a long time, I may have gotten laughed at, and to this day, I may get looked at kind of interesting when I do some things, but I'll never be ashamed of how I get down. Thanks to people like Keg, who kind of blaze a trail for people to do what the hell they want to do. And we clicked right then, and we clicked ever since. And I really say this LA Talk Live is a sacred ground, because in this space, it has allowed me to share some of the most interesting people I've ever met and meet some of the most interesting people in the world. And I got to give you a lot of credit for that. You and
Yes,
Van Eric
Richard.
and the folks that had the vision. And like I told you back
Giving
in
you
Fox
snaps.
Hills, Richard, in the little bedroom in the condo, man, put your building on your screensaver, bro, and it'll be right here. I think when you
Yeah.
did that, I think you was in the building in
Mhm.
about 2 months. And I see it even bigger, man. So I'm going to say now to you, Rich, go on and put a skyscraper on your screensaver, Rich, and be done
Is
with
it
it.
time for the
Because when you
skyscraper now?
see it, it's coming. Because your space.
Lord have mercy, if you
your
knew the
space is
struggles it
sacred,
took to
man.
get this little space here.
Nah, boy.
Shoot, I got more work to do. That's what I'm doing.
Increase that space right there, mister.
Word,
It's
word
going to be
to
all
that.
good. I love you,
Word to
man.
that.
Speaking
And I
it
love
into the
Keg.
universe, yeah.
I love Keg Johnson, man. And thank God that he gave me some of the information he gave me. I tried to pick his brain as much as I could, but then I realized that if you just shut up and let him talk, it's going to just come out. So I just stopped asking him stuff because it's crazy, dude. It's like listening to George Benson talk or something. They just talk, and all you got to do is listen. You may want to get your notebook out.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy,
Take
man.
some notes.
Now, I want to swing the mic to someone that we're very honored to have in the studio tonight. I got to say, man, because this individual just beautifies the studio just in the short time that they have been coming through. And so now I swing the mic to that beautiful woman in black with the Scorpio medallion. No, I'm only joking. You know, I'm a closet comedian, always working on materials, and Jerry Bell has been the brunt of some of my worst jokes. But I'd like to welcome to the microphone now, I had to give him his own special time, the Grandmaster himself. Respect yourself, Grandmaster Jerry Bell. Let me find the claps. Hold on. Let me find the claps.
Oh, we got the clap.
The claps for Jerry Bell. The claps. I mean applause. The claps for Jerry Bell.
Oh, wait a minute.
Was he wishing on you, bro?
Always working on fresh
I
material.
just got it.
You didn't hear that.
Huh? Thank you very much. I'll be here tomorrow night as well. I got nothing else to do. Grandmaster. Let me tell you something about the Grandmaster, though.
Okay.
Break your Mickey Ficky neck within like 2 seconds. But he has been, man, I shoot. I wanted to say to you, Grandmaster, that when you go through the other door on the other side of the room, we'll do this for you as well. Yeah. So enjoy yourself tonight and feel proud about. Anyway, I got to say that this brother here, man, I'm telling you, one of the greatest men that I've ever met, and I've known him way before I got into broadcasting. I met Grandmaster at a whole nother venue, a whole nother business. I'm a serial entrepreneur, was doing something in Hollywood. This beautiful black man, and I ain't afraid to say, walked through the door with these beautiful young sons who right now are like 6-footers about to go into the NBA as twin Kobe's. Let's keep it real. Beast. I remember when they was little babies. But this brother walked through the doors of my computer store, and I'm like, damn, what's up, homie? I was just proud and happy to see black folks north of Wilshire.
Right.
Because I was on Sunset. And I got to know him. And I knew him as a martial artist. I did not even know that he was one of my favorite singers and legends in music. I mean, he sang some of the songs that at least I tried to make babies to, considering how long ago that was. Working on material here. Can I get a little something? No? All right, that's good. Moving on.
That's all right. It's all
But he's
good.
so humble, man. And we've joked and laughed, and this brother has blessed me so many ways and so many times with his presence and the people he brought through. Like Verdine White sat right there. Al Jarreau sat right there. Freda Payne, Keg Johnson, Oracle, all these great people, thanks to the Grandmaster. In fact, he made me famous by giving me a nickname called Grasshopper. And as he traveled the globe, they would see someone who probably is not as good looking as me. And
Pretty Ricky.
That funny looking joker right there must be Grasshopper that he's talking about on the air every week.
You funny.
I am the funny looking guy he's talking about. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get nothing.
So
Nothing from the crowd. Okay, moving on. But
Bada bang.
this brother here has been such a blessing to this station because of all of the incredible talent he brought through. And when I was able to bring him and Keg together with Oracle on the show together, that was a very momentous day. So you know, I joke, I laugh, I get a chance to get away with that with him. He's such an incredible man and so humble and differential in allowing people to shine even in his presence. I think I've done enough praise.
Yes,
and
yes,
applause
yes.
for
Let's bring in
Grandmaster
Jerry Bell. Come on, Jerry.
Yeah.
Speak up, baby. You know how hard it is for him to let go of the mic.
After all them jokes, I'm not going to get my ass kicked. I was just trying to make up for all the jokes I was telling. Grandmaster, take it away.
Speak on. Speak on.
Hey,
Speak on.
hey, everybody, how you doing? It's good to be
But
back.
did I finish saying it?
No. Don't you see that light blinking back there, baby?
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
It's good to be back on
This
on
show
the
is good
radio
to see
here.
you with it, boy.
It's good to see the grasshopper, even though he got a broke leg, but
Yeah.
it's all good.
Tooth missing the whole nine.
Hopping too much.
It's ugly now.
No, but man, I met Keg when I was 6.
Wow.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, see, he's working on material too.
Yeah.
He's
No,
not
just
that old.
just kidding.
Y'all don't get it though.
Just kidding. No, but when I met Keg, Keg walked up to me one day. I was in the Motown building, which was actually on Sunset and near Vine at the time. And I was coming out of the building into there's a place called the People Tree where everybody would conjure together. You know, the Jacksons and Stevie and Smokey and everybody hanging out for lunch. And so I was getting ready to go in there, and Keg tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Hey man," I said, "Hey." He said, "Hey man, He said, "You're one of the best singers that I've ever loved in life." He constantly told me this over and over. And I said, "Well, I said, "Thank you very much." I said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name's Keg Johnson." He said,
And by the way, brother, where you get that crocodile jacket from? My bad. Go ahead.
That's all right.
You better get him, Jerry.
He said, "Oh no, I got it."
Go and hit the gate.
It's okay, man.
I'm sorry, Grandmaster.
No,
Got yours covered,
Post
Rich.
Grandmaster.
No, it's all right. I understand he's on his period. But it's okay.
Thank you very much.
But he told me that he had seen me before on many occasions before the Daz Band, and so he had mentioned New Birth, and he said, "I know your family, I know all about the the Bell family and Tom Bell and Archie and your whole family who's been deeply involved in the music business for a long time." And he said, "I just wanted to let you know that coming out of Philadelphia, I really admire what you've done, vocally in the music industry." And we started clicking, from that point. And then we would talk, occasionally all the time. He would always, and how Keg was very candid, "Look, tell the motherfucker this."
That's right up your alley.
He didn't spare,
No, he did not mince words.
Neither do Jerry.
The last time that we spoke before I came to the hospital was 2 weeks ago. Keg introduced me. Right now I'm working on a project with China. I'm dealing with the Chinese government.
Yes.
And what I've had an opportunity to do was to introduce the Grammys, the Grammy Foundation to the Chinese government to build. We've been talking about building a 21-story Grammy museum in Beijing and a 5-story Daz Band University of Music and Performing Arts.
Yes.
So the Chinese just gave us 100 acres of land.
Yes. Did you go
in
through
Beijing?
Siva?
Yes.
I want that
No.
left southeast corner right there. That's X-Man Square.
So Keg put me together with a gentleman who's very, very, very powerful, the Chinese government.
Yes.
His name is Siva
Yam.
Siva Yam, yes.
He is the president of the board of directors of the U.S.-China Chamber of Commerce.
Bam.
Yeah, and so we've been communicating and working together a lot. And he's in Chicago and then back and forth to Beijing. So actually, Siva, the day that I came, I was on my way to the hospital, Siva called me and told me that, "Hey, where are you at?" I said, "I'm on my way to see Keg." He said, "Yeah, because I just found out that Keg was in the hospital and he was passing, But before that, 2 weeks before that, Keg and I was on the phone. We broke out into an argument.
Uh-oh.
Because
they do too candid.
Because he was trying to get me to hurry and get this thing done with Siva. And I kept saying, well, I can't do it like that, Keg. I have to do it like this because I'm still dealing with some other Chinese. And he said, no, goddammit, what did I tell you? You know, he said, do it this way, motherfucker. You know.
Boy, that's it.
There was an urgency in everything he did near the end
yeah.
because he knew it was time.
Yeah.
You know.
So he hung up on me, right? I said, God damn it, this motherfucker hung the phone up on me. So I tried to call him back. He wouldn't pick up, right? So then he called me the next day. He said, look, man, we got to work this shit out, you know. So he said, I want you to call him, you know, and tell him you're going to put this thing together. So I said, okay, no problem, I'll talk to him, you know. So I called Siva. Make a long story short, when I got to the hospital and I saw him, it broke me up so bad. If you notice, I couldn't stay.
You couldn't.
I
You stood outside in the enter area.
I mean, because I didn't know him like that, you know. And I've known him like, you know, we're gonna do this shit. You know, what are you doing? I'm not doing. Get your ass over here now. You know, that kind of thing. So my last words to him was, I was gonna make it happen.
Thank you.
And so this is exactly what's going on right now.
Thank you.
We're
making it happen. That's a great segue into what I had to share because now my friend, Mr. Jerry Bell, you and I and Rose and Joshua and anyone else who happened to be there present at the time when Keg was, taking his final breaths. And we shared a phenomenal opportunity to witness somebody doing it like they wanted to get it done. I'm telling you.
That's the Oracle.
There were two things. There were a lot of things. Keg had a list. He had me write a list, okay?
Yeah.
So he had a list of things that I was supposed to get done and make happen. You know, one of them, he wanted to see his son who he hadn't seen for 30 years. That happened, okay? They spent a good, wonderful day and a half before Keg passed. The other thing is Keg did not want to die alone. You know, he wanted people around him. That's just the kind of person he was. He was an only child. And so his thing was he wanted family. And if you were his friend, I mean, truly his friend, you were family. He was very loyal like that. Right. The room was filled with family. Jerry was there. And so you, sir, you and I, we got it. But here's the deal. The mother of his son, Joshua, his youngest son, Joshua, Rose Owens, all of us, she just give her a hand. Because Sister Girl brought up you know, the opening, and I said, "Ooh, go in circles," like that. And then when it got to the chorus, everybody singing, "You got me going in circles," bum, 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 you know, the whole night. And then the next song, and I got the next dance by Denise Williams, "Misdemeanor" by Foster Silver, whatever the song was, you know, the Blind Boys of Alabama, whoever the talent was, Rose, and then Medina got into it, his daughter Medina. So she goes, I got one. And Keg was there, bobbing his head and enjoying the music. When Jerry walked in, he pointed at Jerry and said, "Hey!" You know, his spirit lifted. So Keg was conscious. He was lucid. He was there to the very end. And when he got tired, I was sitting there holding his hand, and he turned and looked at me. He said, "It's time."
Yeah.
You thought it. And so we went and told the nurse. And they came in, and we had to wait a little bit for the doctor. And he wasn't connected to any machines because that was one of his lists of do not do. Okay, they did have him hooked up to blood pressure medication so that it could keep his heart alive, so he could have time to spend with his family. He called it. That's what he wanted, and that's what we did. Okay, so when he said it was time, he understood they were going to turn off the blood pressure machine. And what it took, another 3 hours, you know. 2.5 to 3 hours before Keg actually took his final breath. And we clocked it at 2:26 by our standards because we were in the room with him. But they called it officially at 2:43 because we had to wait for them to check the heart. Somebody had to come and listen to his heart and give the final, you know. So you might see on the internet 2:26, and then you may see 2:43, but they were both according to your perspective, you know. Yes. But the thing about it is that Keg was surrounded by family and friends. He called it. He decided when he wanted to go. Maybe that's what I want to do. When it's my time, when they tell me I'm terminal, I'm planning my funeral. I'm going to attend, and I'm going to be in the class. I'm going to sit up and say, "Hey, y'all." You know, I'm telling you. You know, seriously, he was about that. He was about, like you said, X-Man. What you say? He's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it. It's got to be done in his way. He's gonna do it his way.
And he did it, So Jerry, I want to thank you for coming there, and because you lit up the room up, my brother.
Thank you.
I know it was difficult for you. Jim Shiflett, his main engineer on many of most of the projects that he's done. Jim also, had to take off. He had some other things to do, but he told me later. He says, really, the reason I couldn't see Keg like that, because that's not the Keg that he had known, because Keg was always so full of fire and excitement. But Jerry Bell, I'm telling you, man, when you walked in that room, Keg lit up, baby. You brought just a little bit more life to him. Let's give. Seriously, baby.
Thank you.
Seriously.
The interesting thing about that too is my sax player Keg introduced to me for the Daz band, which was Zimmerman.
Yeah, Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Yep, he was there.
Wow. He introduced Zimmerman to the group.
And Marlo Henderson called in and talked to him on the phone, as did many other people. It was excellent. I wish you guys could have been there.
I think it's a true blessing when you can attend your own memorial.
Isn't that
service.
something?
It is, and that's what Keg had in the hospital before he transpired.
That's Tuesday Connor, everybody.
That's right.
Yeah, from ICC too. Now, you know what, Tuesday, you better pick that microphone back up and talk some more about Keg, because Tuesday and Keg, oh my goodness, because Keg curse.
Right.
Oh boy, Keg can curse.
Before we go there, before we go there,
I
I got a little clip I'd like to play. Is that okay?
Let's take that.
And this is from Jerry Bell's Soul R&B Classic, January 8th, 2014.
I find myself, I giggle a lot. Everybody, I've been on a couple of the different shows here
That's what we love
on
about
LA
you.
Talk Live, and this is who I am. But one of the many little things that have been happening that are really on a grand scale is I recently performed in the Vice President's residence on December 12th. I was gifted, my cousin Lena Kennedy of LL Kennedy and Associates, and God bless her mom who just recently made her transition, and
Our condolences.
they're having the services on Saturday. But Lena gifted me by having my name placed on an invitation-only list for a holiday affair at the Vice President's residence. Her way of saying thank you and how much she loved me. I do a lot of philanthropic work and volunteerism and things like that. Anyway, I get there and oh my God, Joe Biden and his wife Jill, they are so down to earth, so real. It felt comfortable. We were jaw-jacking. I was making them laugh. It was real cool. And then I got into a side room, like a little study, if you will, and there was the picture of the late President John F. Kennedy over the mantle in a live fireplace. It was really wonderful. And I got into dialogue with someone, and he mentioned liking jazz, and he mentioned liking spoken word. So it was impromptu, but I ended up doing a piece and had an audience, and it's so much wonderful things happened from that. Re-meeting someone else that I knew, was able to give him my product because he's on the President's Commission for Arts and Entertainment, some capacity that I would fit in, because he says, I wish I had your product so that I could give, So anyway, a lot of good stuff came from that, performing there. I've been newly associated with an organization called Royal Queens United, Women of Wisdom from the Leimert Park community.
Wanting to pull up, queue up a little bit with Keg and Oracle on this particular show. And here comes Keg.
God's got to guide you. The force has to guide you. Anyway, I married this lady, and I didn't, unbeknownst to me, her cousin, Annette, is married still to Jerry Butler, the great singer, Jerry Butler. So she kept telling me that, and then one day I came home from hustling in the studio trying to cut a demo for $1 or something like that. Pulling my driveway, and this rent-a-car was there, and I walked in, and Jerry was sitting in our living rooms, and I almost fainted. So, oh my God, it was ridiculous. And he said, hey, we had been involved with the Friends of Distinction. We did going in circles and all that. That was the first step. We didn't know what to do.
Friends of Distinction.
So all we did was we took that money and spent it on the office and a bunch of dope, and it was over. We got nothing out of it.
You need that dope left?
No, we didn't get nothing left but a memory. But anyway, he liked that music, and he said, I got a deal for you. I said, what's that? He said, I got a name. You got a process I like. I'll make a deal. You do the music, we'll cut it up. That's cool. I would have done a napalm commercial. Didn't matter. So, yeah, no, the first gig he got us. Now you got to understand this, Jerry and Richard. That I had never done anything with a budget more than whatever I could afford, which was maybe $200 here and $100 there, begging here. I'll give you a piece of it. You know how that goes. Suddenly, here's the first gig he got us was an album on Gloria Lynn. A whole album on Gloria Lynn.
What an honor.
Oh, it was an honor. It was the first time I ever got hired to do an album on an artist. Her name was Gloria Lynn, and we did an album called The Very Gentle Sound. Now, I don't know how we ended up actually finishing this album on budget. And it came out. The music was easy to do. That part of it we had down because we've been practicing doing that a long time. But the budget thing, I didn't know. Man, anyway, we had some funny incidents within it. But anyway, that was the first gig he got us. And the next one was the Silvers. And the rest is history.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special episode tonight, celebrating the life and legacy of Keg Johnson II. We just heard a clip from Keg Johnson live on the January 8th, 2014 edition of the Jerry Bell Soul R&B Classic Show. We've got the Grandmaster Jerry Bell live in the studio with us tonight. Also, the very lovely Oracle, who we heard earlier on in that clip. We've got his family here. I've been saying it all night. We got blood in the room. Mm-hmm. So respect due to...
He's bleeding.
Yeah. That's my period.
Spiritually.
This period right here, I'm in. I will claim and celebrate because it's all about the wonderful Keg Johnson. We've also got Mad Money Mel, who's going to be joining us a little later on in the show. We're going to take a quick break. Can everybody hang around?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. We got to talk about Tuesday and what she's got coming up.
Tuesday's here with us. We got to get Mad Money Mel on the mic. We got a special
I want to say this real
secret
quick.
guest in the studio with us who's going to join us and share his experience with Keg too. But Grandmaster, I must defer to you, please.
Let me say this real quick. What I would like to do is to get the X-Man to sit down and reproduce Going in Circles, and then we can do it. I could do it, the vocals on it.
Okay. No problem. That's a done deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Work. You heard it right here on LA Talk Live.
All right, so
and he's looking at me like he's gonna whoop my ass if I don't.
If you don't do it.
You don't say yes.
And I'm gonna help you out with that. So for all of our listeners out there who are a little bit young, who don't know the song "Going in Circles," I'm gonna sing a little bit for you.
Please don't do that.
Oh
my God! No. Hey, check this out.
Around.
We'll shake on that.
This is what we were doing in the hospital room.
Hey, listen, hold on. For my going away,
No.
Right? Please don't put duct tape on his mouth. Because I won't be able to go in peace, you know what I'm saying?
In the meantime, in the background, Love, Don't Let Me Be Lonely, Friends of the Station. We'll be back celebrating life and times of Keg Johnson. Don't go away.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk.
Disability awareness experts, empowering and advocating for the rights of people with disabilities. The professional consultants at Disability Awareness Experts create awareness through consultation for ADA legislation and federal compliance, fair hiring practices, and educating businesses on how to hire people with disabilities. With affordable prices offered at different levels, our mission is to empower the lives of people with disabilities and enhance employment opportunities. For more information, visit www.daexperts.net. That's www.daexperts.net. Or call 202-549-4793. The Disability Awareness Experts, educating and empowering individuals with disabilities. Proud sponsors of the Veterans Day Live.